Good day, here are the headlines from the Philippine News Agency. The Philippine National Police have identified two persons of interest in the bombing at the Mindanao State University, one of which is alleged to be a recent graduate. Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is looking at the possibility of a reconnection of the Maute Group with the foreign extremist Islamic State. Marita Muahe has the story.
The Philippine National Police on Wednesday identified two persons of interest in the bombing at the Mindanao State University in Marawi City that killed 4 persons and wounded at least 50 others last December 3. PNP spokesperson Colonel Jean Fajardo named the suspect as Kadapi Mimbesa alias Engineer and Arsani Membesa alias Hatab and Lapitos, both members of Daulah Islamiyah Maute Group. Mimbesa, who has a standing arrest warrant for murder in Marawi City, was also identified by witnesses as the one carrying the bag which purportedly contained the bomb used in the attack. He was also identified as a recent graduate of the MSU. Fajardo said the two persons of interest were spotted numerous times on the way and out of the MSU Dimaporo Gymnasium before the blast. She said one of the POIs was seen using his mobile phone to call somebody, which might have triggered the blast. Police also reported a third unnamed suspect, also a member of the Daulah Islamiyah Maute Group, with an outstanding warrant of arrest. Armed Forces of the Philippine spokesperson Colonel Medel Aguilar said they are looking into the possible reconnection of the Maute Group with the foreign extremist Islamic State, which earlier claimed responsibility for the bombing. FP General Romeo Browner Jr. earlier said that the military received information that the bombing could be a possible retaliatory attack from the Daulah Islamiyah Maute terrorist group. Aguilar admitted that in a way there was a failure in intelligence in the deadly bomb attack at MSU. However, he said that the AFP is still investigating whether their personnel have accountability for the incident. Senator Ronald De La Rosa meanwhile said that it is unfair to hold security forces accountable for something that is below the radar. In the meantime, the AFP urged the public to ignore and relay to authorities unsolicited messages spreading false information on the Marawi bombing to sow panic and confusion. The House of Representatives on Wednesday adopted a resolution strongly condemning the MSU bombing. House Resolution number 1504 also called for a speedy and thorough investigation and subsequent prosecution of the perpetrators. For the Pna Headlines, I am Marita Muahe.
The Philippines' unemployment rate fell in October to its lowest in 18 years, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. The PSA said the jobless rate dropped to 4.2% in October from 4.5% in September. This is equivalent to 2.09 million jobless Filipino workers in October compared to 2.26 million in the previous month. This also translates to a 95.8% employment rate, a slight increase from 95.5% in September and 95.5% in October 2022. The reported unemployment rate was the lowest since April 2005. The jobless rate in October was also lower than the 4.5% rate compared to October 2022 and the 4.8% clip seen in July this year. The underemployment rate, meanwhile, increased to 11.7% in October from 10.7% in September. This was, however, lower than the 15.9% rate seen in July and the 14.2% rate from October last year. Labor force participation also went down to 63.9% in October from 64.1% in September and October 2022. National statistician Dennis Mapa said accommodation and food service activities added the most jobs in terms of annual increase by about 291,000. Wholesale and retail trade and repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles posted the most number of yearly job losses at 193,000. The Department of Health said there is no outbreak of Mycoplasma pneumoniae or walking pneumonia in the Philippines, and all 4 cases of it have already recovered. The DOH reported 1 case of walking influenza in January, 1 in July, and 2 in September. It clarified that Mycoplasma pneumoniae is not new or unusual, and it composed less than 1% of the confirmed cases influenza-like illness from January to November 25. It also said that medicines for treating Mycoplasma pneumoniae are readily available, and its transmission is easily preventable. The DOH made the clarification amid the spread of respiratory illnesses in China and other European countries. Mycoplasma pneumoniae are common bacteria that present flu-like symptoms such as fever, sore throat, and cough. It can cause different infections including colds and pneumonia, especially among children, those living in enclosed areas, and those with weak immune systems. Its transmission could be prevented through regular hand washing, masking, ensuring adequate ventilation, and vaccination. The House of Representatives adopted a resolution strongly condemning China's illegal actions in the West Philippine Sea. The House passed Resolution 1494, which calls on the Philippine government to assert and defend the country's sovereign rights over its exclusive economic zone and continental shelf in compliance with the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, and the ruling of the Permanent Court of Arbitration in 2016. The resolution pointed out the illegal activities of China, such as harassment, shadowing, blocking, dangerous maneuvers, and radio challenges. Meanwhile, the Philippine Coast Guard said 5 Filipino fishermen were rescued when their boat was reportedly hit by a Chinese flag bulk carrier vessel in the waters near Palawan, Occidental Mindoro. The PCG said Filipino boat FBCA Ruel J was left adrift when MV Taihang 8 hit the boat at around 4 p.m. on Tuesday. The rescued fishermen underwent safety checkups and received first aid from the municipal government and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. They were also advised to file a marine protest. The Senate officially ratified the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the proposed measures for additional cash benefits to elderly Filipinos. As outlined in the BICAM report, all Filipinos, regardless of residency, shall each receive a cash gift of 10,000 pesos upon reaching the ages of 80, 85, 90, and 95. Under the unified version of Senate Bill 2028 and House Bill 7535, or an act granting benefits to Filipino octogenarians and nonagenarians, amending Republic Act 10868, all Filipinos are entitled to receive a 100,000 peso cash gift upon reaching the age of 100 years old. They will also receive a letter of felicitation or a personalized congratulatory letter from the President acknowledging their remarkable longevity. Recipients are entitled to receive these cash gifts within 1 year after reaching the specified ages. Since 2017, the Department of Social Welfare and Development has extended benefits to a total of 12,186 Filipino centenarians. The DSWD has also honored deceased centenarians with posthumous plaques of recognition presented to their nearest surviving relatives. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, please visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The Pna Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account via the News and Information Bureau website nib.gov.ph under PNA News or on the Facebook page of the Presidential Communications Office or PCO. It's 18 days before Christmas. I am Wilnard Basilonia and this is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.